when they introduced the President of the United States of America. Now we can sing together. I can wait if you want me to. If what you have to talk about is so important, it's going to take up all these people's time. When they get ready to introduce the President of the United States of America, the speaker simply says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America."
That's right. Amen.
Amen.
That's right. That's right.
His office speaks for him. Amen.
That's right.
And I believe in presenting Dr. C.J. Anderson, the only thing I would have to say is, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. C.J. Anderson. Amen. John the Baptist was a second cousin of Jesus.
That's right. Amen.
And he was a forerunner of Jesus. But Pilate had arrested him and had him in jail. He was kind of thinking that since he was kinfolk, he'd done so much for Jesus, Jesus ought to come and see about it, get him out of jail. And so John told two of his disciples to go and ask him if he's the one that should come, or should we look for another? What did Jesus say? You tell him I'm a PhD, a DD, a LLD. Is that what he said? What did he say? He said, go tell John that the blind are receiving their sight, the lame are getting up and walking, the dead is being raised, the hungry is being fed. And what are you saying, Jesus? Jesus saying, my works speaks for me. Not only did Jesus' work speak for him, but my brothers and sisters, your work speaks for you. When we looked at Dr. Anderson, I think I'm a step behind him. He is the second, not in age, but he's been pastoring longer in the same church. He is the second oldest in time of pastorage in the whole Northern California. And I think, what's it, 43 years, is it? 44. And any time a black preacher can stand in a black pulpit and preach to black folk for 44 years, I don't think I need to say that. His work speaks for him. And I would to God, you see where he is now, but I would to God that you could have seen where the Lord brought him from. About 2 blocks from where I live, on the vacant lot there on 14th and Magnolia, on the ground with some sawdust on it, one of them old camp meetings. A tent, amen, full oil stove and full oil lights. Amen, somebody? And when we look around and see where God has brought him from and see where God has brought him to, his work speaks for him. And it was my good pleasure to have a little bit of something to do with him being president of the California Baptist State Sunday School Baptist Training Union Congress for near 30 years in succession. Amen. We had a time, didn't we, buddy? We had a time. We had a time. And you see, some of them folks down south think folks up in Northern California ain't got no sense. We showed them who's who, didn't we, buddy? But let me tell you, don't you never discredit the other fellow. Can I get an amen there? Don't care how dumb they look. Everybody is ignorant about something. And you know something? A clock that don't run is right 2 times a day. Clock ain't run in 50 years, but it's right twice a day. So the biggest amen. Don't ever count the other fella out. Don't discredit the other fella. And when that's where they made their big mistake. And Dr. Anderson has been president ever since that day in president. My friend. And I don't want to take up more time, but if it hadn't have been for Dr. Anderson, I was telling you this morning about the name that's above every name. That was the name of Brother Anderson and all of us. But Dr. Anderson did us one of the greatest favors. Amen, somebody. We were literally out of door. This man tore up a contract. He's already had a bill of sale for 720 Filbert Street. I'll never forget that. Had the money in his hand. And I told him the condition we were in. This building was not built. And we had to get out of Alameda. We had no place to go. He says, Pastor Guice, I've got a seal for it, but your congregation, Bethel, doesn't have any place to go. You've got the building. I'm going to call Dr. White and I'm going to tear up the contract in your face to let you know. And I'm going to give him his $1,000 back. And you stay there. How long? I said about 6 months. He said take 9 or 12. Because I know contractors. You take as long, and this building will not be sold until your building is built. I said, how much you rent? He says, well, I've been paying $320 a month rent. I mean, a note. And tell you what you do. You pay 160 and I'll pay 160. Now, somebody ain't drunk. Tell me how many of you in here pay half your rent and your landlord pays the other half? Come on, church. Your landlord pay half of it, you pay half. Well, here's a man that paid half of your rent when he was out of door. Let's give him an amen. Let's stand. No clapping, no clapping, no clapping. Let's stand and amen. Stand up, everybody. Let's say amen. God bless you.